You're listening to The Startup with Monique Lore, only on LA Talk Radio.
Hey, Los Angeles, it's Monique Lore, and this is The Startup with Monique Lore, coming to you live from my basement area, slash closet. So excuse the look, excuse the unprofessionalism, but we are still keeping the show going, even despite what's happening outside in the world, and I don't really know what's going on, and they said that there's this super virus out there, so stay vitamined up, masked up, stay away from each other maybe. The station's closed until further notice, but I think they'll get this under control in just like a couple weeks, so we should be back at LA Talk Radio in the studio. Thanks for tuning in, and I wonder, how's it going, Los Angeles? It's The Startup with Monique Lore. Myself and my team are hitting the road to see what's going on out there. So we're going to Chicago first, and we're interviewing essential workers. We want to know how you guys are handling this, as well as business owners, startup owners, parents. How are you guys working, schooling, cooking, and doing all these things at once? You are really my heroes.
So coming out of COVID-19 as a nurse, what I want people to take away from this and what's definitely going to change is going back to our emphasis of normal isn't going to be a thing. Normal is something in the past.
I know there is a flu virus out there. I know there's something out there. I don't know if it's as serious as the media is making it sound.
We are struggling for our existence, supporting our family, and supporting the city. So city is moving forward. So if we all sit at home, it's not going to help.
We've seen a lot of positive COVID patients, and that's been scary, specifically in nursing homes.
My poor father had no visitor. He couldn't speak. Well, he could just say yes, no, and the S word. So he couldn't really articulate. So my brother would come in once a week, spend time with him. Our father passed alone.
It's just empty like this on a daily basis. I'm not even up for 5 days any longer because I just can't keep the doors open and turn the lights on and spend the money for a staff that we're not generating any profit.
I'm Matt Saratha, a celebrity fashion designer and reality TV personality. I started doing designer face masks, just like for myself and for family and friends. And then they just started taking off.
Hi, my name is Matt Shotwell. I'm a cultivator here in Sonoma County, California. This is my pot farm, and we're here, we're thriving, you know? And because prices are up, demand is up, supply is down.
Haven't been across the border in 3 months. I mean, it's been like 3 months that I haven't set foot over there when I traditionally would be there once a week on business, back and forth, part of my life.
And we went in, and when someone's dead, when they have COVID, you can't do CPR because when you do chest compressions, it ejects the COVID into the air.
So many people lose their job because you see it's empty Ocean Drive. Always at this time they're gonna be full, but right now everybody stay home, and the people came from New York came in the weekends only. We are really bad situation.
The depression rate has gone up 3 times since the pandemic. The suicide rate 2 times.
Because we work in criminal defense, has been on trying to get incarcerated people out of juvenile detention, adult prisons and jails, and also immigration detention centers.
This is such a trying time, if you will, with the pandemic and so many other things that are going on in people's lives. Like you said, you spoke about trauma, hurt and pain in general. Suicide is like the number one leading cause of deaths, if you will, in the United States.
I'm a lupus thriver, and coronavirus affects the invisible illness community in a way that a lot of people don't realize. While we fight for our lives on a day-to-day basis,
the younger people are going to have a whole new take on nightlife and entertainment, and, you know, I don't know if there's going to be room for me or not. I'm going to go fucking kick it in the desert, make some videos, hang out with some friends, get a fucking dog, and ride this pandemic out. You know, that's my pivot.
They lifted my right arm and they stuck a board with papers on it, and they held my hand with a pen in it, and they had me scribble, and that was me giving them instruction to go ahead and open me up.
I can be working from home, and other people is out there jobless and no food in the household. So I feel blessed, but I'm in the house by myself, barricaded with no life. And that's not the person that I am.
And speaking of which, it's also been a little tough and scary because although my specialty is neurology, the teams that would normally be admitting COVID patients, i.e. internal medicine and ICU, are just so overwhelmed that they need other specialties, like mine, to help.
How's it going, Los Angeles? This is the Startup with Monique Lore, and I'm Monique Lore. Another weekend in quarantine. Wondering how you guys are handling it out there. How's the public handling this coronavirus thing? Hopefully you're being good to one another and staying safe.
Coronavirus time.
I get corona, I get corona. At the end of the day, I'm not going to let it stop me from partying.
Dr. Lorna Breen, an emergency room doctor at New York's Presbyterian Hospital, took her own life.
You have to wear your mask the whole entire flight. If you're unable to do so, you will be removed from the flight.
So we thought, let's do this in Vegas. It's marriage capital of the world. We're getting married in Vegas this weekend, and that's exactly what we're doing right now.
You know, I really want to find out what the medical professionals think about this thing.
COVID-19 is a coronavirus, and coronaviruses are a specific subset of virus, and they have some unique characteristic as viruses. They use RNA instead of DNA as their genetic material, and they're covered in spikes on the surface of the virus, and they use those spikes to invade cells.
If your immune system's not strong enough, you don't want the virus to get into the cell. So how do you block it from getting into the cell? Well, that's where hydroxychloroquine plays a role.
I blame us. The bats are perfectly fine if they're left alone where they belong. But the trouble is we've invaded their habitat.
The fact of the matter is we have people dying. 45,000 people a year die from automobile accidents.
If you have antibodies that are neutralizing, it will block the virus. What we don't know is how long after you recover from infection those antibodies last.
I want to see how the rest of the world is handling this pandemic. First stop, Bali.
So my name is Lotta Lassesson. I'm the founder of Archery Jewelry. So from this little island's perspective, we see how the whole world has been affected, and especially United States. It's a big export market in many ways here in Bali, and it's a lot of frustration, and we can see the frustration happening in America as well.